Well, it looks like we're about ready to get rolling here. I suppose people will be joining in at any moment. There we are, live on several streaming platforms. We've got Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers here, along with meteorologist John Burchfield. John, how are we feeling about our storm threat overall tonight as we get more people joining in?
A little bit of a different weather setup than the last time we did a joint live. It was snowing in February, and now here we are. Severe weather season is here. Certainly had the feel to it, one of those days where it's getting a little humid outside, a little warmer, and it certainly rained for most of the day. But as far as the severe threat, that's what we're here to give you an update for live.
And I think you and I could kind of put most of us at ease with this risk of any storms tonight. We expect it's generally going to be well south of us, but we figured we'd pop in Facebook Live. It's been a little while since we've been had a chance to catch up with you, and many people are still just joining us right now. We've got Kay joining in, says hello. Good to have you along, Kay. And you know, if you're joining us on our various streaming platforms, or YouTube Live or Facebook Live, so go ahead. If you want to plaster a few comments in there, John and I will do our best to get to them. But John, it was a wet day today, and I'll tell you what, you just could kind of wring it out, right?
Oh, yeah.
You felt the higher humidity, and the clouds just looked like they wanted to rain at any point, and much of the afternoon,
it did.
They did rain.
It did. And those of you who have lived here long enough know that a lot of times with severe weather days, when we get a little pocket of sunshine, or what we call instability, you may have heard that word on air before, that's usually a little bit more of a ripe setup for severe weather. But where it's rainy and gray all day long, not quite as conducive to see thunderstorms, let alone severe thunderstorms later.
In parts of the country, in fact, a decent part of the country is seeing some strong and severe storms, and this is generally going to end up being from about Indianapolis or south of Indianapolis, headed towards Cincinnati, and then all the way south of the Ohio River, Kentucky and Tennessee. Just in touch right now with the folks at the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center. They are considering putting a severe watch out across southern Indiana that would be headed in the direction of Cincinnati. And John, that's kind of the thinking that you and I have had all day long, that we expected southern Indiana, southern Ohio would be the hot zone, so to speak, for the risk of storms. In fact, just a few moments ago, a tornado warning south of Indianapolis, again, not in our area, did expire at 7:30. There's some pretty good indications of rotation on radar. Yeah,
all the current weather alerts are still well out of reach for our immediate worry. Looking at Indiana on to the south, you can see the severe thunderstorm watches and tornado watches as well. So as far as the impacts locally go, Toledo Metro really not expecting much in the way of strong thunderstorms. If we do get any healthier thunderstorms, those are probably going to be in our southernmost counties, say down towards Findlay or Upper Sandusky.
And I think at worst case scenario, we're probably talking maybe a storm that brings some gusty winds, a little thunder, a little lightning, and it kind of blows right on through. And a lot of people have been asking, we had Jackie asking, is Toledo going to get a storm tonight? It would more likely be a gentle thunderstorm for the Toledo Metro. We expect, if we see an expansion of that watch area, which it's about a 50-50 coin toss right now at this point that it wouldn't go much past southern Indiana and toward the Cincinnati area. So we don't expect or anticipate any watches that would be issued for our area, as we kind of can put you at ease on this spring feeling.
And that includes all the comments. We got folks joining from Perrysburg, Petersburg. I can see Barbara from Toledo as well. Let's talk severe weather risk as well. So the brighter reds on this map, those show you where the severe storms are more likely, and that shade of green that we are outlined in, that means that severe storms are less likely. So as we pointed out on radar, again, those locations to the southwest, they're the ones who got those breaks in sunshine today, saw a little more of that heating and instability, more fuel for the fire, so to speak, as far as thunderstorm development goes.
And storms were popping down toward like Paducah, Kentucky, into Memphis, Tennessee. There's been some people that have been dealing with hours of severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings. None of that has made it into our area, and again, we expect it will stay south of us. There was a revision, so to speak, as we continue to do when we get new data in with that risk area. And earlier today, we were kind of looking at the rain and the clouds coming in, and we said we just don't think we're going to get that extra ingredient, which is the instability for severe weather. And the folks at the Storm Prediction Center, which are just fantastic, agreed with what we were thinking on that. And that zone, that yellow area, was trimmed back to the south. We just stayed too damp and cool and cloudy to actually get any instability to really fire up the storms.
We're not going to totally write it off yet. We'll be here just in case, but we want to get you that hour by hour too that validates pretty much everything we've been saying as far as the southern trend and the lower probability of getting any severe storms. So we got the next couple of hours. The next few hours will really be similar to what we've seen today. Just some on and off rain showers, nothing as far as strong to severe storms. It's that late evening and early overnight hour from say 11 to midnight that we're pinpointing. And again, those southern counties such as Wyandotte and Crawford have the best chance to get a few pops of thunder as well as some gusty winds with those thunderstorms. Those brighter oranges on the hour by hour show you the northern extent of that strong line of storms. And again, we are barely in that periphery of the northern extent. Much of that line of storms is going to be totally out of reach in southern Ohio, southern Indiana, and even further south.
John, just in, Christopher on Facebook says congratulations on your engagement, by the way.
Well, thank you.
That was very
good to
nice.
have some personal comments, too.
Very nice of Christopher, so thank you for that comment. Yeah, and I know you're well into wedding planning.
Hoping for better weather than today, that's all I can say.
And no rain, okay?
Yeah.
Back to the matter at hand, though. Sarah's saying, what time is this all coming in? Sorry, I'm tuning in a little bit late. You know, it's really not going to be a widespread severe risk for our area, but we'll get the next round of heavier rain. It's going to come in 9 to 10 o'clock, even through about 11 p.m. And as John's highlighting, this picture right here, heaviest of the rain, maybe south of Toledo, even south of Route 6, down toward 224, so Findlay to Tiffin, and south of that, Wyandotte and Crawford County. I mean, if I had to put money on who would get the best thunder boomer tonight, which would just even be a gentle thunderstorm at this point, potentially, it would be down toward Wyandotte and Crawford County. That is where we may get clipped with a brief downpour, some thunder, some lightning, and some minor gusty winds that will be possible.
Yeah, it's totally possible that Toledo Metro stays dry really through much of the evening and overnight tonight. We're forecasting a cold front to move through, and that front is going to bring...
Can I rewind this for a sec, John? I want to show you exactly what you're about ready to talk about. Go for it.
There's that front. So we have the initial surge in the jet stream, essentially, that's bringing us those thunderstorms this evening. And then behind it, there's going to be a cold front. You can see that line right there on the hour by hour with those yellows embedded in it. That's the front, and it's going to produce some gusty winds as it moves on through. And that'll come through as many of you are likely sleeping. So we're talking 3 to 5 a.m. But you might hear it. It's going to bring some gusty winds as well. And the winds are going to turn to the west behind that front.
I tend to be a light sleeper when the winds pick up. So I will wake up when this front comes through because it's going to kind of rattle the windows a little bit, shake the house. Maybe a tree branch or two could get knocked down, but nothing widespread with that. But you can actually, as John mentioned, the line that's pivoting through, and you can actually see we've got wind arrows, we call them wind vectors on our map there, and it shows kind of that kink or that change in the direction. That's what a cold front does. It's a change in air mass that shifts the wind direction, increases the wind speed, and also changes typically the moisture content in the atmosphere. We'll slide toward a little less humid weather as we go overnight tonight into tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tomorrow will be a very different feeling day. It is going to turn sunnier, but it's also going to be windy, and the air will be drier. So none of that humidity that we felt today, but it's also going to be cooler and chilly with that wind.
Pretty incredible. We get sunrise, John, before 7 a.m. It will be bright at daybreak, so look towards 7 a.m. Windy tomorrow morning if you're walking the dog, taking the kids to the bus stop, or in John's case, out for an early morning run. Or mid-morning run.
I would recommend running from west to east and having someone pick you up. Get the tailwind.
Good advice on that, John. But as soon as that front blows through, showers are going to be long gone by tomorrow morning. Still will be windy through tomorrow afternoon. No threat of any rain, so if you want to catch up on some yard work, get outdoors. It'll be brisk, but it is expected to be dry. We'll do a quick recap, and we'll let you get back to maybe finishing up dinner, cleaning up the dishes, getting the kids ready for bed. We get it. It's busy this time of the evening. So windy tomorrow, John.
Yep, windy behind that cold front. West-southwest winds could gust up to 40 miles an hour. I'm not expecting any widespread damage as far as that goes, but of course there could be some downed branches, twigs, maybe some leaves as well.
And a quick recap on radar. So John's got the windy end of things as we go into tomorrow, but a look at radar. Again, our severe weather threat, we're going to watch the northern extent of this, and it is creeping into central Indiana, but we expect that's generally going to stay along, a better guess would this be along I-70 would be the better risk of some strong storms, but there may be a few storms that kick up some winds tonight. They are moving through southern Indiana. I'd be more concerned in the southern half of Ohio down towards Cincinnati and Dayton. They'd be more in line for the risk of what we call here like a QLCS. It's sort of a quasi-linear cell structure with that. And embedded within that, there could be a little area of rotation, which there was some prior tornado warnings. Then again, well south of us, down in southern Indiana, where that more active severe weather risk was.
We'll need about 5 minutes to explain what a QLCS is. Bottom line, though, severe weather risk is...
Boy, I could do it. I could nerd out all night on that one.
Bottom line, severe weather risk, a little more to the south and less to the north. And thankfully for us, we're closer to the Michigan-Ohio state line where the threat's going to be a little lower.
So we've got this little radar view here. We'll kind of give it, a moment to kind of to scroll through. And if you're, just kind of joining in, we gave you a good recap. We appreciate you guys always joining in. Facebook Live, and we do expect that for the most part, we are going to avoid any widespread severe weather, which is good news. But of course, John and I will be here all evening. Should any storms develop, we'll be live on air on WTOL 11 and Fox 36. We'll hit the airwaves again at 10 p.m.